Breaking news, boys. Jack Billings is the laid out for the Saints. So I don't know whether that's happened in the warm-up, but a plantar fascia apparently, so he's out for the Saints. Big night for me, the skipper, Trent Cotchin. Just a touch off. I mean, it's not about numbers and stats and goals, but he's, I think, just a fraction off. He might turn one on.
Could he get the job on the Saints captain tonight?
He may very well. When he does that, he's a selfless leader, we know that. It's going to be a beauty. Know what we're going to get? We'll find out. We'll talk about it at half-time.
And Craig Flair. Here's James Brayshaw.
Ryder and Joel to go at it. Here we go. Friday night underway. Ryder, as he does so often, first hand. Little clearance here for the Saints. You see that ball sliding across the MCG turf. And Membry sees it over. Crowd capped at 25,000. Great to see fans back in this magnificent Coliseum.
And it looks like Hill might be trying to run with Lambert. We know that Lambert's a very good runner, as is Hill, so been given a job.
Cotchin worried out of it. Pickett had it and lost it. Edwards, and we're over again.
At least you know there, if Lambert gets into a certain spot, Bradley Hill's going to find the ball. So for one, he's going to shut down that work rate of moving up and squeezing back. The only thing there is the St Kilda mids better watch Dustin Martin when he squirts forward.
Prestia back in the side tonight as well for the Tigers. Handles a lot of the heavy work inside. Edwards, another one there. There is Lambert. Bangs it on the boot and got it forward, but all the Saints here. The opportunity with Howard. Ball comes back in. Castagna spinning out of that really well, and now they go forward with a Cotchin ball deep. Rewalt was there, couldn't hold the mark, and Rewalt approaching the 700 club. Needs 2 more goals to become the 24th player in history to kick 700.
BT, just about that matchup, you saw Lambert run forward. Hill was a long way off him, so he's just got to be aware. You can see at this stoppage, Hill trying to run with Lambert. Lambert's a natural on-baller. Hill's not.
Webster, little left foot that was touched. Mason Wood, goals for him a couple of weeks ago. McKenzie, and now they can ease it down the line. Beautiful pickup. Noah Bolter. Grimes, Chol, just stretches away. Broad. They just take the territory however they can get it, the Tigers, to half forward. And now they crash in behind it. Dusty actually peeled off to receive the handball, and no one went and got the ball. Pickett. Graham just pushed as he kicked it. Going back hard was Baker, couldn't hang on. They'll go inside again, though, the Tigers. That's a beautiful ball to Castagna. Early stages. Oh, he's going to hand it off. And Short loves this situation, but he's just dragged it a little to the left, and that's the first score of the night.
Gee, you've got to be on the alert for him. He is the designated hitter from there.
But they do that all the time, so that's where St Kilda have to be switched on. Against a team like Richmond, they're going to take every advantage they can.
Those little things.
Yes.
And Short is definitely one you don't want to allow to do that. Hill turns it back into the corridor.
Stand, play on.
Finds Burns. Hill again, and this time Highmore underneath with the handball, finds Wilkie. The Saints travel forward, good-looking ball here, should take it Marshall. Lost sight of it in the end. Floston was able to spoil that, giving away the unnecessary free. McIntosh on his left hand did well. Castagna's been in everything so far. Now Floston an opportunity to squeeze and slide the handball sideways. Graham can go over the top to Lambert. This is a good play from the Tigers. Kick was smothered. They were on. Arch was ready to accept. Instead, we'll have a throw in.
You can already see what St Kilda are trying to do. Bradley Hill taking the kick-ins, kicking the ball, trying to get the handball received, trying to create that overlap.
And work it to the front. Cotchin, Steele, Ross. Going to land with Floston, one of the better intercept players playing the game. Slides it back to Short. Not much on, so he goes for a penetrating one, looking for McIntosh. Didn't find him. And a bit of control here to Higgins.
Thank you. Let him up. No.
He'll want to go. little bit more control. Higgins now slightly corridor, a little bit wider in the end. King was just out-bustled, and it was a 2-on-1 in the end. Grimes getting the job. Curtis Du Bois says stand. And he just makes and takes advantage of that man on the mark rule. Goes sideways to Bolter. Here's Martin. Checks where the mark is. He too takes advantage of the man on the mark rule and goes very, very wide, almost with a no-look kick out to Broad. Broad able to run. Wants someone to come at him. Goes over the top in the end. Good-looking ball. Pickett getting closer here. Chol wants it long. He's got the space at the back, or he had it. Chol's got to beat 3. In front was Howard. Couldn't quite get hold of it. Ross with a little handball there to steal. Howard now under some pressure here. Wilkie got dragged down, one of the 3. Nothing forthcoming.
Who's up? Mabior. Hold it, St.Kilda.
50 count already well in Richmond's favour. On the fly, Graham, it got past him. Chol then taken by a couple of Saints.
Mabior, Paddy. Here it is.
It comes down to ground. So dangerous here, the Tigers. Revolt and Cochin. Steele. Ross. In pretty good shape, Coleman Jones.
We saw last night, even though they were more evenly matched last night, the teams, if you don't come to play mentally, it can change very quickly for you. Richmond look like they're switched on. What have the Saints got? We'll find out in the next 10 or 15 minutes here. Broad again, shaking the tackle, arching the back, getting it to Lambert. The good little ball, and he finds Coleman Jones. Callan Coleman-Jones does play on. It's the same man doing the same thing, including the miss. But that would be a concern for Brett Ratten, that man can do that on 2 occasions inside 5 minutes.
That's something that Brett Ratten's definitely going to say at quarter time. Anytime there's a mark around 45 to 50, the forwards and the midfielders have to be more alert.
Jimmy Webster, Grimes to float in from the side. He got taken out of it. Butler just missed with the handball. McKenzie. And then Butler. Broad's been busy early. Short somehow tried to flip it back to Broad, and then they have a little wrestle over the footy. Burns. Graham extracts it brilliantly. Edwards takes the territory. Long one for Revolt. It gets to the back of him. 2v1 here. And the Saints control it pretty well to Ryder.
Ryder looking for the handball. Now, he went to fake with the hand. He didn't step off the mark, and he has been called play on. I wish they'd get that right. Grimes didn't have the footy.
Holding the man. Richmond.
Curtis Du Bois right on the money. Immediately, Richmond players peel off to the southern side, which is the right-hand side of Grimes. You can see them there. They're manned up now, so Grimes will settle on something a little more less flamboyant. Just wide Ryder in front, a little bit of a nudge. Rewalt there, plenty of St Kilda players here getting on the end of it. Crouch had a cracking game last week. Crouch 36, followed on his 38 from the week before. Grimes to Floston, and Richmond just playing that waiting game here at the moment.
Play on.
Runs away. Coleman Jones has got Ryder for company, and he's done that a lot of times over his very good career, Paddy Ryder.
Already been able to take 4 intercept marks, have Richmond. So it's this kick from here.
Play on, play on.
Just back into the area that Floston and Grimes are so good at patrolling. Bolter gets it from Baker. That's not a great ball. And it's going to be a forward stoppage here for the Saints.
St Kilda players know the umpires are going to be on when, as soon as you move off the mark a little bit. You had, as we said, the missed kick here, which a little bit slippery. We've had a bit of rain before the game, but we had Paddy Ryder, we had Steele that played on when they shouldn't. St Kilda had a lot of numbers in the middle of the corridor, looked to switch the ball.
No problems with the play on Hodgie, as long as they take a step off their line. No problems with calling it as quick as they like. But it's when they don't take the step that it can't be called. It's unfair on the player with the footy. Here's Battle. In hard with another hard nut in Grimes. Membry back into the side. Slid the little handball sideways. Highmore gave him the give and go. High ball inside 50. Up goes Bolter. Hands to the footy. Floston may have just got rid of it in time. Bolter outwards. Edwards now. Plenty of space here for the Tigers.
Had Prestia running forward and didn't want to use him. Graham's hands were good. Lambert got belted into. High tackle.
Let him up. Stand. Stay there.
So important to the way Richmond want to play. Kane Lambert.
Stand. Play on.
McIntosh, a flick it around to Floston.
Stand. Play on.
Again, they just can't find that next target. Arts did brilliantly well. Prestia's run on. Just outside 50. Long ball for Revolt. Gets it to the back. Pickett in some space. Runs in and misses.
The concerning thing for St Kilda is every time the ball hits the ground, whether it's a long contest down the line, the first person on the ball.
Look at that, the flick over the back when he knew he was under the footy there, Rewalt. By the way, Pickett still hasn't kicked the goal at the MCG since that grand final last year. Here's Ross 2019, in fact. Little ball out now. Comes to Dunstan. Long ball in, but misdirected. Marshall was there and he was heading that way, but Baker was always covering the ground.
Great contest there from Marshall, who was out of position, but he ran a long way just to bring that ball to ground. Ducks already said that they've already taken 4 intercept marks so far in this quarter.
For the young fella, you can hear the cheer in the background there. And Samson Ryan arrives on the deck. Here's Ross, let's go, and he misses to the left-hand side and a minor score. So 2 debutants tonight. There's one of them for the Tigers, their latest young man, and he's got a good size about him, 206 centimetres.
Good name for a footballer too, BT.
Yes.
Samson Ryan.
Yes.
I like it. From Toowoomba. Long ball down the line. It's worked to the front there by Dougal Howard. Good contest from Revolt. It's what Richmond do. They just take the territory, dribble it down. Now Hill's got to be really careful. Broken up by Martin. Arts got it back to Dusty. What's he got? Bites off a squaring ball into the middle. Pickett won it. Prestia looking for Big Sampson. Just couldn't get on the end.
St Kilda.
And it's going to be Highmore.
If he is in fact 206, Samson Ryan, he will be the tallest ever to play for Richmond, I'm told. Battle, I'm surprised by that. Kick out wide, and Marshall won't get there.
He's a young fellow that I mentioned before the game. May have mixed up his last name, but he's the one who played for Shield Magpies. He's the Queensland boy, the one who they drafted. As just a potential ruckman, but he's developed so far and really impressed him.
There he is. Saints starting to work their way back into this game as well, just starting to get a little bit more footy here, and no damage has been done really with the scoring for the Tigers to what it could have been. Here is Dunstan with a high ball. King at the back, he's outmanoeuvred and pushed sideways. Long's there, did well, got the handball in a good position. Little soccer off the ground for McKenzie. And that's what can happen. Very, very quickly, they worked their way back into it. Saints didn't panic when Richmond had all of the play at their forward end. McKenzie ends up putting them in front.
And we see here, Broad drops what he thought he had. I mean, that's an easy chest mark there. Probably could have nearly been paid, but then just keeping the ball alive. McKenzie in the right place to get that one off the ground. But Broad will be kicking himself for dropping that.
Coleman Jones, Marshall, Martin with the body strength, and then
Throw.
illegally disposing of the ball.
Stand, Dusty. Thank you.
Ryan Burns.
Move on. Play on.
Swings it wide. Higgins. It's busted out of his hands and over.
There are those kicks where you need to exploit the man on the mark. Run towards him, take advantage and try and get it deeper inside forward 50, or even give it to a half-back flank who's running past like a Bradley Hill.
How much is dependent on not just the kicker but the receiver to get on the angle that you can exploit the man on the mark as well?
It's both, as long as you're going forward, because as soon as you come out wide and you miss that kick, you're wasting your opportunity out here.
Little handball there by Sinclair. Got it on to Burns. Burns inside 50 with a little bit of a sloppy kick there. Hooley now's got to go down and get it. Baker trying to spin out of trouble and connect with the boot, and I'm not sure he did.
Put the arms up, low to high.
You heard the call from the umpire, and this will mean Crouch will kick it goal. And this might stretch his ability here.
Brad!
Looking around, he wants someone to come at him. It's a matter of finding that little bit of space. Now he settles over the footy for the longer kick. It's going to test him. 52-metre kick. Gets around the man on the main. The man on mark got the early call. Crouch has to get around him. Then he closes from 40. Still hasn't got the journey. The thump right on the line. Back in the field of play here. Cochin, wonderful hands. Very difficult ball to get hold of. Little soccer off the ground. Battles there. Cochin's really hard at the footy and holds it in there and did well. They'd do well to go out of bounds here as Short unloads a high ball.
Gets a decent barrel spin on it too, but there's numbers here wearing Saints jumpers. Hill's one of them. Repeat entries here. High ball. And I reckon Higgins has taken the mark. He was about fourth in line.
Back here.
Jack Higgins.
Jack, around 2 metres, please. Thanks, mate. Must stand.
10-12 from set shots this year for this man. And might have been his own teammate Mason Wood with a little clip on it, so he's taken the mark.
10 to go. 7.
Of course, 43 games as a Tiger.
Gee, they're hurrying him up here.
A nerve settler here for Jack Higgins. He loves it. That will feel good. I love it too.
Well, nothing better, Hodgie, than getting a little bit of the ball against your old team. He's had a couple of touches already, but that one there, and we've seen it already, that forwards misjudging the footy. Now, Bolter got nudged under it a little bit, so got a little bit of an excuse, but we've seen it a couple of times already. The players just misjudging.
Yep, re-rolled up at the other end. You're right, Doug. And he almost ran out of time then. The umpire hurried him towards the end. Matty Stevic with a bounce, perfect in the middle. Dunstan's kick was smothered and gobbled up here. There's the kick inside 50 from Bolton. Highmore, handball, spinning out of trouble. Castagna got back to his feet well. Sinclair dashing through. Neat little ball wide to Ryder. Loopy handball over the top. They're going to set it up again. Crouch looking for an outside runner. Hill was corralled into the corner magnificently by McIntosh. Hooley couldn't quite hold the mark. Look at that intelligent little handball to Baker. This time he got boot to ball. It was unconventional, but look at the Saints cracking in now. Dunstan there. I think it was Cochin come in late on him, and the St Kilda players did not like that at all. But St Kilda bettering the level that the Tigers are settling at the moment, and there's Koch a little late.
Ryder, a two-hander. Martin manages to find space where there isn't any, and then really just kicks a wobbler into the middle. There's Samson Ryan, dispossessed, battle did well. Sinclair, long ball. Mason Wood's out. Left footer.
Play on.
Just got to wobble it in. Drop mark, just in and out of the hands along.
Holding the ball, just drop
and
it.
Then he gets pinged as Ryan comes to the bench.
Yeah, he got a bit of a corky or something there. His first attack on the footy, and he ran into a brick wall, Hodgie. It hurt, and he's come straight to the bench. Now Martin's got his work to do. What a handball that was. A ripper to Prestia. Tried to edge the ball out wide to Pickett. Pickett's got Prestia running again. He wanted it. In fact, it wasn't Prestia, it was this man Graham. Graham back now with a centering ball. Look at the Tigers lining up here through the hands of Cotchin. It's a bad blue there. Now Hooley's got to back up. Little handball to himself in the end. Graham had to go and get the hard ball. Pickett to Martin. Martin the standing start. Boy, Prestia had his feet taken out, and he did not like that from Dunstan. He reckons that's a tunnel. Got under him and put him in a dangerous position, and things are a little nasty out there at the moment. Tigers not liking the treatment, and the Saints likewise.
Inside 50 here for the Tigers. Coleman Jones works his way to the front. Rewalt not able to get boot to ball. Eventually he did. Swung it to Coleman Jones. Tough for him to get it all the way down and pick it up. Controlled it well here, the Saints. Burns ran himself into trouble. Crouch, McIntosh, Steele there as well. Broad got a little toe poke in. Almost the same spot for the toe poke. Castagna. McIntosh. Rewalt, good late fist high maul.
So this is the Samson Ryan injury. This is where he ran into that front-on contact with Josh Battle, who really made him earn it.
That was a surprising one because he's actually put his knee up to protect himself and he's come off second best. So hopefully it's not like a PCL with that knee up like that.
Injury throw in. Tigers good in this area. Crouch again. Must have just made contact with the boot. Bolton, a high one but wide.
Just on Samson Ryan, guys, he has gone down to the rooms, went straight down, and like you said, Hodgie pointed to the right knee after that one, so hopefully not too serious. I'll try and get an update.
Hill. Caulfield. Billings a very, very late out. Caulfield was going to be the medical sub, and he is now in the 22. Leo Connolly, the medical sub. That all happened very late as the ball goes over.
What has been evident in this quarter is the Tigers' willingness to go back into the corridor into really dangerous spots. Gone in there a couple of times.
There's Dunstan when he goes for that little bit of tunnelling. Cotchin wasn't too happy, but those two had a little bit of beef 2 minutes earlier when Koch went straight in at Dunstan. So let's see if that continues throughout the night.
There's Cotchin. Good hands, Prestia. Graham wrapped up by Steele and pounded into the ground.
Holding the ball, St Kilda.
I've liked how St Kilda has responded. The first few minutes, Richmond were all over him, had the ball in the forward 50. But they've had a few great efforts like that from Steele.
Hill fans that very wide. Just falls inside the field of play.
Think about Cotchin, Hodgia. He's been handing it out just a little, but he's prepared to accept anything that comes his way.
Yeah, but he won't take it backward step. He loves it to be nice and physical.
He's really trying to create that sort of physicalness about this game here tonight. In front on that occasion, Marshall. High, not sure it travelled the required journey. Out the back is Wood. He's a left footer again, and neatly and deliberately got it to King.
That's a great kick. With this, how wet it is and slippery it is out there, for him to be prepared to do a snap on the outside of his boot, but then pull the kick.
That's an inverted torp almost.
I'm not sure he actually meant it to spin like that. No. But as far as him to be able to pull it and hit King.
Off the instep. Very creative.
This is a big kick for him. He's had his troubles throughout the year.
So Max King, it's a difficult angle, as you can see. And just tries to fade it from the left post in, and he does, and beautifully manoeuvred between the big ones. So the Saints off to well, they weren't off to a ripper, but after the first 10 minutes, they were able to absorb the pressure from the Tigers, and they've owned the last 10 or 15 minutes of this quarter, and now have a 3-0-0 lead, basically.
Got some real nerve settlers into King and Higgins. And that's good for them. And
this is Dunstan from that stoppage. He's had that battle with Cotchin going. He gets the clearance out. But it's Wood here who's able to pull that kick to King. But it's a great start for St Kilda. The fact that both Higgins from a set shot and then King, they both had their troubles throughout the year. Higgins struggling against Sydney and King especially throughout Geelong, but most of the year, great confidence for both of them.
Samson Ryan back as well, and no ice on that knee, which is positive.
Steele. Webster. Nice ball for Long. They're in this game, the Saints. Wobbly one, Long. Crouch parked under it. Baker there as well. Mason Wood. Butler gets through and misses. Probably couldn't believe he'd made it through.
I was going to say, you don't normally break 2 or 3 Tiger tackles, do you? It's one of their great strengths. Just on that kick from King, I think it was a good thing that he was on an angle. It almost takes the pressure off him having to kick it because it was a more difficult shot. So the pressure actually does come off a little bit, I reckon, BT.
Yep. Been behind a bit this year, the Tigers, that have managed to come from behind on quite a few occasions, and so they won't panic in this situation. The Tigers, you can be assured of that. You need to make every post a winner if you're the Saints. Look at the attack on the ball from Long. Best of the night. Dunstan picks up the result here. Now Castagna gets in the way. Chol with a long handball, but they line up and queue up through the middle of the ground. Marshall's got this. He just bangs it forward. The Saints are having a real crack here early. There's no doubt about it. And they've got it again. Look at the outnumber here. The triangle, 3 on to 1. Magnificent. Crouch with a little nudge forward. Intelligent little quick from Rewalt. Got it to Grimes. He knocks it on. But they're there again. It's line after St Kilda defenders at the moment that are repelling every attack.
That was Long going in for his second effort. Yes, he fumbled the first time, but it's how you make up for it. And he went in nice and hard, knocked it onto his teammate. That was great effort by Dylan Grimes over the other side, just through his pressure, squeezing up. That's why the St Kilda team fumbled.
Cochin got a little piece of it. Got the Tigers moving forward. Graham. Coleman Jones. Had a couple of blows of the whistle there, the umpire. Correct decision. Dougal Howard, good mark.
Play on.
They've got all the answers at the moment, St Kilda. Caulfield. Lots of room.
They want him to kick it.
They do, and he does. Floston, very, very good at seeing the ball coming in the air. And then he bites off something on the 45, which was beautiful. Lambert. Long. Revolt. Revolt! They get their best look here. As BT said, too shy of 700 AFL goals.
15 gone.
And that will get him into elite company.
And it was to St Kilda numbers there, but it was just to his advantage where he could still run and jump at it, even though St Kilda had more of the ground protected around Rewalt.
They need a goal, the Tigers. And on the siren, that just fades. So good start, St Kilda, and there's a bit of push and shove. But the underdog, at the moment, are getting the job done.
And the Tigers as well.
Only once under Damien Hardwick, BT, after they've been goalless at quarter time, have Richmond gone on to win the match. 1 out of 11.
Brent Cotchin's been trying to ignite some aggression in his side in the first quarter as well. The skipper, umpire Craig Fleer, to let it rip here in the second quarter with a perfect opening bounce. Ryder immediately down to Steele. Burns hovering over the top of the footy. Graham picked it up, gave it to Martin. Clearance out of the middle, penetration inside 50. Big collision of St Kilda players there. Not sure who that is at down. Highmore butted up, gave it to Howard, and they'll get out of trouble here despite that. Sinclair still down as Webster. Sinclair on the half-back line, and
Just wait.
hopefully Webster will recover as Sinclair down the line with a high ball. Chol there, went straight through his hands in the end. Grimes able to funnel the ball out wide here to Prestia, kept it alive, parallel with the boundary line, did well to gain a few metres. Webster looks like he wants to stay.
And courageous from Webster, running back with the pack. You always know that someone's going to be coming, but for him to keep his eye on it, and it was all fair. It was just a nice, solid contest. Good to see him back up.
Neither ruckman touching the ball, and then Crouch. A hold on Floston, I think.
Yeah, I think it's
Broad took the mark anyway.
a bit of a shepherd.
Doesn't matter. Hooley. Bolter. Big, long, thumping ball. Pickett's got a couple of beat in the air. Nicely done to Sinclair. Burns. They've had the answers in this game so far, the Saints. Webster crunched moments ago, but he's back up, and that's a good sign. Dunstan. Battle out on the wing. Dusty comes to close him down. Goes to centre half forward. Beautiful ball. Crouch couldn't hang on. Hooley. Chol takes the tackler on. Lambert sits it out in front of Prestia. Hill's a hard man to get away from. Prestia just went to ground. Hill then had a little fumble. Burns. They flip it back. Battle dispossessed. Dunstan off the ground. Beautiful result to steal.
And they've still got the man out here at Higgins. His former teammate Grimes guards him on the mark. They've been selective when they've gone quick and when they've gone a little slower. This one's down the line as Broad's easily able to punch that to the boundary. And they'll start again at half-back, the Tigers.
I thought that one, he did a lot of work to get Paddy Ryder out of the road. I thought with two hands he could have been able to mark that, but I guess that's their job, just making sure there's no soft drops.
Chol and Ryder looking to get separation so he can use his athleticism. But I tell you what, Chol's the equal to that in that department as Dunstan just chips it towards the boundary. That may well be deliberate.
Owen, you be very careful how you speak to me down. Last warning. Last warning.
That's nothing to do with that, but that's Curtis Du Bois speaking and giving Dion Prestia a bit of a warning.
Why is it when they kick the ball into the forward line to deliberately go to the boundary, it's not deliberate?
Yeah, it's interesting.
Membry. And Chol in ruck. Edwards. Lambert. Really good player, Kane Lambert. Short. Gets around. Dan Butler, long one, but straight to Paddy Ryder. Highmore wants to use Battle. Goes back to Highmore. Partially smothered ball, but Battle's run on, and then he walked into a tackler. Still looped it inside 50. Got to behind. Now Chol in real trouble. Having to do a lot of defending already in this game. Noah Bolter wide, and Webster read it best in the air. Shea Bolton. Haven't seen a lot of the footy yet. Mason Wood. Ducked into the tackle of Pickett. That's holding the ball. Good umpiring.
Straight up.
Don't poke your head into a hole that you'll regret. And that happened to Mason Wood. Once again, trying to get back on into his left. And just gave Pickett the one chance to nail him. High footy to the logo. Rewalt. Strong mark, and Webster gets another one in the back. He's not happy. He's in the wars. Good looking ball over the top to Graham, and maybe just too far out to score. If he can get on the run, and he can now. He's run off the mark. That's fair enough. Goes with a low ball. Martin in front. Through the hands and squeezes out the back door. And we'll have a boundary throw in. So still no goals for the Tigers. 4 minutes into the second quarter.
Who's up? Helen. Paddy.
Short throw in. And a double palm there from Ryder. They'll do it again.
Dusty was asking for a free kick then. Turned around to Matty Stevic and just sort of said there was no one there.
No, not for me.
Coleman Jones this time to the front. Sinclair breasting the ball. Graham. Hooley now.
Contact. St.Kilda.
Saints drag a free.
Stand here.
Samson Ryan's been on the bench for 14 minutes ever since he went and got that knee assessed.
Attended the huddle,
back on.
Hodgie, with his teammates and didn't get work at quarter time. Still no ice. He actually just got some work on his hip and quad, so it might just be a corky.
Dunstan Long looking for King. Broad. Floston. Don't argue on his former teammate Higgins, and then munged it forward. Chol. Ryder. Battle. Crouch. Long and high ball forward. Defensive numbers back here for the Tigers.
Boston's handball a little short to Broad, but he was able to make up the ground. You can see Broad rub the head in the deck of the St. Kilda player into the ground as well. Castagna, can they move it through the middle of the ground? They've got players running to space in all directions here at the moment. Short needs to be clean. He was. Got it to Pickett, normally a really good user by foot, and there's a great example. Bolton now explores the corridor. Coleman Jones at the back, and he's got the double grabber. Dropped it on the third grab, said the umpire. Picked up here by McKenzie. Back to Howard. And I think the umpy might have been right on that occasion. High footy. And they're going to go again. Burns into the middle here. Mason Wood, that low left boot. Look at the transfer. Higgins got the player on in the goal square. King. Will he mark and play on? He's very wide. Will he get back to his feet quickly? No. So in the end, the kick made him go a lot wider than he should have been.
Max!
Yeah.
2 metres.
Higgins tried to get back. He had to get back off the man on the mark just to give himself a little bit of room to use the footy a bit better.
So King going to wrap it around the corner. And the Saints could go 4 goals to zip here. Max King looking for his second. I think he's got it. He has. The Saints 4 goals, 2. King, nice ball around the body. Kicks his second. And a 21-point St. Kilda lead. We saw last night, if you do not come mentally ready to play, then you will get a side that maybe not as good as you to be able to really go well.
That's the contest down the 50, which a lot of the Richmond supporters thought was a mark. But it's that kick there, switching the ball into the middle of the corridor, which means you can go either side of the 50. Nice kick out from Wood to Higgins. Yes, that ball pushed a little bit into the pocket, but I love the way that King went back. He composed himself. He would have done this 1,000 times at training, went back and finished nicely.
Coming into tonight, ranked 18th in set shot efficiency, the Saints. They've kicked them all so far. Crouch. They go forward again. Broad had a couple of wobbly moments. Handball off. Mason Wood. Saints get their 5th. This is a hot start now. And it's on. Some pushing and shoving going on.
Centre clearance is so important. You can see there Broad once again, BT. We talked about misjudging the footy.
Yeah.
Well, did it again.
And then after that goal, just a little bit of grumpiness from both mobs and a bit of a scuffle there.
And notice that Bolter there, like Wood's not a small boy, he's 6'5". Bolter's just turned around and slung him like he's nothing.
Yep.
A little bit heated there from the Tigers. Things aren't going their way.
Some grumpiness in the game. It's a 5-goal 2-0-5 lead. Pressed here out of the middle with a long ball forward. There's the young player and Ryan couldn't mark it. Off hands to Lambert. Got it to the top of the square. Little bit of a push off and well done by Martin. This he's going to play on. You can see it written all over his face. Let's see what he does. Boy, do they need a goal here.
Webster was too worried about Dusty. He should have just went and spoiled the ball instead. He was too busy watching Dusty. Had it been anyone else on the field, he just would have went up and punched it away.
Committed to the drop pump now is Martin. Kick of only 15 or 20 metres here. Tigers' first goal coming 10.5 minutes into the second quarter. Martin pulls them out of just a, well, not a little hole, a big hole. Can they get all the way out?
Hodgie, you mentioned it. That's where you're worried. You're not looking at the flight of the ball. You're worried about Dusty Martin. As soon as you look at your opponent, you're lost, aren't you?
You are, especially it's because it's him.
Yeah.
And I'm not having to go at Webster, because when I've played on Dusty, I did exactly the same thing. So, but that's his presence in the game. When the ball goes up, if it had been 21 other guys on the Richmond team, he would have went up and scored it. Because it's Dusty, he's focused on him and he gets that mark.
Much needed goal for the Tigers, but out of the middle go the Saints. Crouch. Long ball, battle underneath it, couldn't hang on. Higgins, great handball to Long. Gets away from the tackler, gets away from a second one. Just couldn't drag the footy back enough.
Gee, that handball from Higgins was
Ripper.
Yeah, really good. Great vision.
Yep.
Got there quickly.
I thought it might have been a bit late, but he made it work. Oh, this game's really heating up now. The Tigers are gradually starting to rise to the challenge that St Kilda are putting out there at the moment. It's great to see from the Saints. Here is this handball you spoke of, Duck.
It's just great vision to his advantage. Gave him an opportunity. He's been clean tonight, Higgins.
Coleman Jones here doing the ruck work against Marshall. Knocked down Pickett, almost threw it, almost gave it to Dusty. Dunstan was tagging him. Long, didn't really want to knock it out, couldn't see too many St Kilda jumpers out, so cleverly just kept it inside. Now Higgins, another one of those handballs. The Shepherd was on there, didn't quite get what was happening, Crouch, and they line up a lot of Tigers. Foston says, I'm just going to mongrel this as far as I possibly can, and the young fella Ryan was outmanoeuvred pretty easily by Howard.
He just thumps it back from whence it came. Membry in from the side. Dribbling ball here from Butler, but it's all Richmond. Cochin to bring it away. Where does he steer this? He has to go wide to a one-on-one. Arts. Caulfield easily. Wilkie. It's an uncontested ball here for the St Kilda Footy Club. Webster. Look out. Big trouble. Big trouble, Mackenzie.
You went forward of your mark. It's play on. Play on.
Now Martin wants to play on. Very nicely delivered ball for Castagna. Goes to a dangerous spot. Rewalt in the air. Sinclair did well. Steele. Thumps it long, and Membry. Really nicely done.
Stand.
So really having a red-hot crack here and setting the level of intensity the Saints, for which the Tigers must equal or better if they want to win. Webster. Long ball. Some wood. A bit of a push out of the way. Chol. Handball. Cochin. Did well into a bit of space and gave Edwards some chance, who equally was good, and Bolter eventually over the line right in front of the Tigers bench. You can see the action there.
Let's have a look.
Tracker, Duck.
Yeah, Dunstan's Telstra tracker covered a fair distance, 14 disposals, 9 of those contested, actually 10 contested, 4 inside 50. So
5 clearances to go with that, Tuck.
Great first half.
Yep. Little handball by Edwards. Outside to Pickett. Pickett with a long ball. Ryan's there. In front was Howard. Comes out over the back. Caulfield says the boundary line's my friend. But Arts had other ideas. Little handball back inside to Castagna. Martin's handball was smothered. They got him. Pickett's was smothered by Steele. They're coming left, right and centre, the Saints. And a ball up.
Just here, Mavior.
Marshall. Clean possession. In on end. Almost Baker. Broad. Long. Long keeps it in. Baker then gets absolutely ragdolled.
Pinned in.
By Dan Butler.
Thank you.
Former teammates, there we are. Extraction from Cochin. Wobbles it forward. McKenzie gets around. And then thumps it long. Just been a bit wobbly behind the footy, the Tigers. McIntosh kicked out of there by crowds. That might be illegal.
Oh, it's got to be with a little more intent than that, I reckon. Here's Martin in front of Highmore.
Back 3 metres. 3 metres. Play on. Play on.
Martin told to go. Butler almost run him down. In fact, enough to put him off the kick. Pick it to Baker. Baker goes very, very wide, but it's been intercepted.
Downfield.
And a free kick downfield. So a little bit of undisciplined play there from Battle.
3 metres.
We'll see Graham with the footy here. Chip it short to Cochin, ignores that, goes sideways to Baker. Barely to 15 metres. Martin lurking dangerously. A lot of Tigers behind Baker. He wants to go forward to Rewalt. Up over the back was Howard with a big thump. Chol is there. Crouch. Prestia. Lovely work. Got it to Art. He was tackled there by Caulfield. Thrown to ground. Art's got it again. Little quick kick out of the back. Comes to Sinclair. He had to have quick hands. They were quick hands. They were great. Howard goes the right foot banana on the run. Unusual for a big defender. Can they get out of this? McIntosh bowls him over. Went with the hand through Dunstan. And the Saints maintain control.
And have got some forward momentum here. King just broken up in the air by Bolter. Dribbling ball is going to work for him, I reckon. No! Membry just couldn't get a handle on it.
It was good running from Butler from half back. He could have been used a couple of times. Got on the end, and that's a lovely kick and a terrible fumble.
Just took his eyes off the ball. Just wanted to spend it before he got it. Saw those goals.
So deep ball in. King and Chol. Graham. Battle breaks that up. Long got a little thump on it. Dunstan taken in the tackle. Ball on. High ball.
This is the pressure that we didn't think St Kilda were going to be able to match it with Richmond. Richmond's pressure around the football has been outstanding, has been known for that, but St Kilda tonight has been able to match it.
King doing the ruck work here, long, little knockdown. Pressed here. Burns went and got it. I think they've been a little slower with the use of the footy tonight, the Saints. Hodgie, which has been good for them.
It's been able to let them catch up behind the play. If they move it too fast and Richmond turn the ball over or get intercept marks, it's costly, as we saw early in the first quarter.
Cooley there. Crouching low. Burns again, little quick kick out of the pack. It's play on, not 15, the umpire said. It was a clear and early call. Not sure that Edwards
just kicked there. I don't think it was 15.
And we'll have another ball up at the punt road end.
Helped it to ground. Butler couldn't quite get through. Baker's kick smothered. Lots of heat on the footy.
Sitting on his head.
Free kick.
Was it?
Too short. Oh, great ball. It's a room though for Bolter. That's better to Broad.
Stand.
Got Grimes on short, uses him.
Stand.
Not able to advance in any meaningful sense here, the Tigers. Back to short. That's not a great ball either. Lambert, though, picks it off on the ground. Goes to Coleman Jones. He's got running support if he wants it, doesn't. Thumps it in the Marshall direction. gets through his hands. Baker. Only Caulfield in the end had eyes for the footy.
Done well for a guy that was initially going to be the sub, and then Billings with the late withdrawal allowed Caulfield to come in. And this is that slowness I was talking about. They've chosen well when to play this slower game. Mason Wood. Or is it Highmore? It's Highmore, in fact.
Move it on. Play on.
Ball to Marshall. Chol worked him under it, allowing Grimes to mark at the back. He has a bow peep into the corridor, nothing on, so now he goes sideways and finds Bolter.
They have to crab it sideways again here, the Tigers.
Play on.
Baker did a nice job of it. Castagna.
Stand.
It's very stagnant. Long ball. Edwards took the tackler on.
Ball, St Kilda. Go through.
St Kilda's team defence is actually the last 3 times Richmond have tried to switch the ball to get it to the fat side. As soon as they did, they've looked up the field, and St Kilda's been able to roll behind them and slow them up.
And what's helped is Richmond have actually not hit their targets like they normally would. Those balls going to ground, just taking that little bit extra time then to move the ball forward has played into St Kilda's hands.
Jimmy Webster long. McKenzie. Tackle didn't quite get boot to ball. Higgins. Here's McKenzie again. Floston missed with the fist. Cochin wobbles it out of bounds.
That was an awkward landing by Floston. He's okay for a minute.
Back 5 minutes.
I felt for him, but good that he's got up and recovered. Very difficult landing. Caulfield now to Wilkie. Wilkie saw Burns on the wing, but decides to go a little more in the 90-degree angle. Howard, funny little ball here, and Highmore. Backward of the wing. 22-point lead. They had a 15-point lead at quarter time. We've got 3 minutes remaining here in the half. Caulfield, Webster. Richmond not allowing them to take meterage at the moment. Got a really nice zone forward of the footy. Blocking space. If they want to go forward, it's going to be close to the boundary line like this. And that's really good defence forward of the footy here from the Tigers. They eventually get what they wanted, and that's a Prestia kick down the throat of Cochin. Right in front of the interchange area. 2:25 remaining. Tigers patient. Cochin almost pulled the trigger. Floston, can they find anything out the south side of this ground now? Let's see if Bolter can get something.
There's a bounce. Broad runs for him. Just on 14 minutes since the last goal in this game. Hooley. Lambert just reels that in.
They've just sent Tim Membry behind the ball here, the Saints, too, just to shore up things to make sure they don't concede a late one.
Back to Broad. Graham. He decides to just pound a long one. Ryder with a double fist. Butler couldn't reel that footy in. Steele speculates with the handball. Free kick.
Danger.
It's going to go to Graham, kicking in danger.
Free kick both ways. Yeah. I'll just do that. Play on.
He's got a short option. And he picks Lambert off.
Look at the amount of St Kilda players back in the defensive 50. You've got to squeeze up. Once you get 1 or 2 back and fill those holes, you need to squeeze up and pick up those spare Richmond.
Dan Butler. 15 gone.
A minute to go before half-time. This would really help the Tiger cause. Lambert, set shot, hangs it out to the right. Almost Coleman Jones, and then off the deck. Arts thinks yes. Let's have a listen.
Thanks.
I believe it's a goal. I'd like to check it wasn't touched and it didn't hit the post, please.
Thanks, guys. Score review. Umpire's call is a goal. Please check if it was touched and if it hit the post.
Wow.
Review underway.
Thanks, guys. Score review sorted out. That's a tough one, mate. That's a tough one.
So, can we rule out the touched bit?
Yep.
So it's just whether it hit the post.
No, we're going to have to have a look at Edge here.
Arts actually ran off and did the old nut. Not a goal, not a goal.
Well, it's out of his hands now, though, Hodgie. We go to the arc, and
he's told his teammates to set up.
it has the soft call, if you like, on field is a goal. So this has to comprehensively rule that out.
Well, surely Edge will get that.
Review complete. Looking at this angle, we can see a spike on Edge as the ball passes the post. Decision on scoreboard.
So there it was, BT.
Hard to see in motion, though, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly right. But best part about Arts is telling his teammates is they're all set up now. So St Kilda, if you're looking up the field, everyone's in a perfect spot, so there's no easy get out for St Kilda.
So just under a minute remaining here. Saints don't want to be too negative, or the Tigers will take it straight back down. Here's Bolter. Joel, clever knock on. Graham couldn't make it work. Steele looking for King.
St Kilda. Jack Steele.
No, bring it back. No,
Jack Steele. Back to, I think King will be the recipient, not Steele.
No, Jack Steele.
Umpires are getting it mixed up there, I reckon.
Jack Steele.
Don't know why he wasn't even in the contest.
And stand, Jack. Thank you. Yep, time back on.
So Steele here with just 30 seconds remaining. Saints want to put themselves in the position where they're the only ones that can score in these remaining seconds. And now they've put it pretty well into neutral territory here on the wing with 25 seconds. And it could go either way. No problems at all. Tigers have kicked 1 goal for the half. They trail by 21. And that box a little nervous at the moment. Ryder to Dunstan. Higgins. Dunstan back to Higgins and almost ran out of track, and he did finally.
Insufficient intent.
Got to go back to 2017, the last time the Tigers were held to just 1 goal and a half, and it was against the Saints. Lambert, time ticking down, and they've got a long way to come. The Tigers with just 1 for a half. It's the Saints by 21 points.
A little bit of chaos, a little bit of pressure back into the situation.
And there's been a bit of spite in the game. So have they poked the bear? You've got to be ready for the response now.
Dominance from Ryder and Marshall around the footy. Pressure, pressure, pressure. That's got to be the message. They can absolutely hang on. I think they do the same.
Rui?
Yes, Gary.
Tigers to come back, charging home. They've done it so many times before. Big second half coming up. MCG. We'll be back to wrap up afterwards.
It's a massive second half for the Tigers.
So a 21-point lead here by the Saints. What have the Tigers got in the second half? Ryder.
Holding Dunstan, St Kilda.
Immediately, Dunstan's free out of the middle.
St Kilda.
Umpire Matt Stevick.
Play on.
Dunstan's having a really good period in his career. A couple of good games of recent time. Long ball forward through the hands of Boulder. King out the back. Tried to get the spin along the ground. And a miss.
First half for Max, kicked a couple. Floston runs and then delivers towards the darker green members' seats here at the MCG. Big tackle put on by Revolt.
Off him now, Jack. Thank you. Thanks, mate. Cover your Paddy. Jump out, guys. Jump out.
Ryder first hand. Prestia look away. Shea Bolton just nudged as he went to kick it. It's been that sort of night for the Tigers. Flow hasn't been in their game. Bolton. Cochin. That's going to be chopped off by Wilkie.
So Wilkie glances across to the other side and decides to come the near side. Little ball there and finds Battle and over the top to Steele.
Stand.
All of the players compressed into this little area here at the moment. He finds some space for Ryder. So they inch their way forward, the Saints. Gee, if they kick the first goal of this second half, there'll be real trouble for the Tigers. Dunstan from 50 metres out. Open goal square. Touched on the line by Floston.
Thanks, Tim.
And a big let off there for the Tigers.
Play on.
Floston. It's a child down the middle.
Mark
Was
interference.
illegally broken up.
No, he didn't. Okay.
Mark slow to get up.
Time back on, stand. Play on.
Broad. Bloston. And a bounce into the hands of Pickett. Can he get around? Yes, he can. Long ball, top of the square. Coleman Jones. Not even touched, I don't think, in the end by Hill, but it didn't matter. Out of play.
I think you can see Hilly, who's been a winger his whole life, hasn't really got down to that defenders because he's missed that spoil by about a foot. But that's good from Richmond, building the ball up from the half-back line, taking ground, getting it in deep inside their forward 50.
Got in a good position here, the Tigers. We know they're good on their forward stoppages. Ryder hitting defensively. McIntosh to Bolton. Bolton centering ball. Danger, danger for the Saints here. Little opportunity. Just got rid of it, Ross. Now Wilkie on the left. Just had to send it high. Really had no one there. And Wood gave him time to get into position with the height of the footy. Butler couldn't get a clean hand on it. Now he goes in. Got the handball out to Caulfield. Able to shake the tackle. Little one forward here. Broad. Stands in the way. They're going to reload from half-back and go again here, the Tigers.
Baker will get it back from Grimes. He might give it back to him, actually. He decides to hoof a left footer down the line. McIntosh. Nice mark, Bolton.
Stand. Play on.
Over the top, Edwards. And he drills it to Martin. Martin plays on. And he has missed. Inaccuracy haunting the Tigers. 1-7.
A couple of nice bits of play there from Bolton. Nice strong mark, and then lowered his vision, just trying to pierce their way through the St Kilda defence.
What's going through your mind at the moment, Duck, especially in relation to the Tigers? What are you thinking right now and the position they've got themselves in?
Well, at the moment, that was clean play, but at the moment, it's just those basic fundamental errors, just missed handballs, kicks they wouldn't normally miss, and a few fumbles. So clean that up. Certainly done once again there from their captain, Cochin. I mean, this is stuff we just don't see from them consistently, obviously.
Looking a little frustrated, Damien Hardwick in the box there. For the reasons that Duck just pointed out, I would imagine.
And the Saints' pressure's been pretty good, but I'm talking about the ones where there is no pressure. They've made basic errors.
Hill. You know he's a good kick, but to find something here is very, very difficult. Now Sinclair wide to Dunstan with a beautiful kick. Dunstan, high footy, looking for Marshall, couldn't get hands on it. Broad defends to the boundary.
The other thing that the Tigers normally do when you make a mistake like the Saints did, they make you pay. They haven't made the Saints pay off the back of their mistakes tonight.
Ryder to the front. Dunstan having a good night, as BT said. Off the ground steal. Mason Wood's hands were pretty good. Steele with a little one. It gets through Lambert. Hill. Burns just a little hot with the handball. Pickett a little fumble. Burns again. Lambert this time.
Holding. Stop, Richmond. Put him to ground after.
Going to be a Richmond free kick, as you heard.
Straight back to Jaden. Jaden
Just
now.
holding
Jaden
on to the
now.
tackle a little too long.
Sit there.
Short.
Back on.
Goes short to Baker.
Stand. Play on. Me.
To go wide and finds Pickett.
Play on.
Pickett immediately looking high for Ryan. Caught behind there, but in front is Art. The little push, trying to find Dusty. The interception by Webster. Likewise, Floston gave it back in the middle. Good handball. Coleman Jones got it to Martin. Bolton, quick release. Martin inside 50. Can he hit Rewalt? No. Wilkie, although Rewalt picks it up. Gives it to Lambert. Lambert, a right foot snap across the face. No go.
This is the start of the first quarter. Richmond seemed to be all over St Kilda. The ball stayed in their forward 50 for the first 5 minutes of the first, but they just couldn't convert. They couldn't kick the goals.
But even that ball from Dusty going inside 50 that doesn't hit the target he normally would hit.
Marshall and the young boy Ryan. Highmore.
High contact.
And taken high.
Guys, Marbiol Chol's down in the rooms with what looks like a right hand injury. Might have been a dislocated finger in that free kick he got in the contest before. Ryan Mansell warming up on the bench as we speak.
Tom Highmore. High and wide. Higgins at the front. Controlled that ball beautifully. And then just dumped it high for Short, who's able to take an uncontested mark. Sideways. Baker. Pickett. Fluency in the ball movement, just not there at the moment for Richmond. Look at that. Couldn't have picked out Hill any better. Burns. Dunstan. Caulfield inside 50 with a high one. Can it get to King out the back? No.
See King pointing there. He wanted it out the back, JB.
King's also got to realise that when their teammates are running flat out, they can't kick it 60 metres. He's done that 3 or 4 times tonight, arguing with where the kick's been.
Spoken by a true half-back flanker.
He just might have to work up a little bit and let his teammates kick it just to him.
You've got to make it easier for the kicker as well, not just for yourself.
Out the back of the pack, Dunstan, a right foot snap. He is having a ripping game. So a game high, 28-point margin here. Richmond have kicked just the 1 goal to the 9-minute mark of the third quarter. And the Saints, who not many gave a chance to prior to tonight, have themselves in a commanding position.
We spoke about Dunstan at half-time about his work around the stoppages and how clean he's been. That one there, he just sat off the back in that winger position, picked it up, and in his non-preferred, turned around and snapped it. And that's the thing, is that's where Richmond don't give that much space. When they're on their game and they're as good with pressure as they can be, or they've been in the last few years, they don't give a winger that much space out the back for him to put it through.
Now starting to get very worrying here for the Tigers. Coleman Jones. McIntosh. Graham, but again, nowhere to go. Back to Hooley. Measures it. McIntosh. To half forward. Easily marked by Caulfield. Just the danger out of the ball movement at the moment for the reigning premier.
So Caulfield slides it down the line. Max King doing the work here. Out the back, Higgins with a little bit of speed. Baker kept him honest, did well. Steele, nifty little handball to Higgins, who then got it in turn to McKenzie, banged it forward. Brought it half back, quick transfer here and they're away. No loose player on the far side of the ground, so Floston just backs up. He knew it wasn't worth pursuing. Not a great kick that Bolter's perhaps going to make look better. King's got to beat a couple. Baker to McIntosh, over the head, Cotton there to back up. Smart play by McIntosh to Soccer there. Crouch caught him in the tackle to get him a little high.
Advantage.
McIntosh is free, in fact. Umpire pays advantage. Rewalt couldn't keep it alive.
That ball was dead, wasn't it, PT? Yeah, I think I called that an advantage.
Yeah, it was a strange one.
About here. Rowan. Richmond. Wait.
So can they flick the switch, the Tigers? Similar questions last night of the Cats, and they weren't able to. Marshall. Around the body. Lands with Grimes. This is what they've done a lot. Fan it back and try and spread the ground. Not a great ball. Mason Wood with Floston. Floston wins a really good one-on-one. Hooley inside 50, he sticks it, and Revolt. 48 from home.
And they get away with it on that occasion, but once again, Broad just missing the target of that easy kick-off half-back that just makes their work that little more difficult.
And it feels like we're being against Richmond. It's not just we have high expectations of what we've seen them do over the last 4 years has been the top of the AFL. That's why they've been so successful. It's just weird to sort of watch them miss so many kicks, considering that's normally their game.
Big kick this one. 698 career goals. He doesn't want to have a look. He's dumping it short to Shane Edwards.
Shane, 2 metres.
Was Rewalt doubting his ability over distance then, or?
Well, clearly, because he had a better look at the goal, so clearly thought that it was right on his range.
Talented footballer Shane Edwards. His club needs him. And he delivers. Incredible that that's just the Tigers' second of the night. But they are only 22 points adrift.
It's amazing. You can only kick 2 goals in a game, but you're just 22 down, JB.
Amazing, it is. Worked that well.
And yes, this is a missed kick, but this is what we're used to seeing from Richmond. Floston with the strength, picking up the ball, giving it to one of their best ball users in Basher, and then him drilling the kick into Rewalt. It did look a little bit weird that Rewalt did pass that kick, but their mindset for the Richmond Football Club is if there's someone free in their forward 50, just pass it to him. Once he takes the mark and pulls back, it's probably not as obvious, but that's the Richmond mindset, and it's a great finish from Edwards.
Back in the middle, Marshall with a little win there, but Cotchin with the clearance, successful, and might get a free here to Arts. Gee, Lambert took the free, but it wasn't actually his, and the umpire didn't pick it up. Love to have another look at that. Here's Rewalt on the lead. I think the wrong man took the free. Castagna, little handball out the back door, knocked to ground. Marshall again. I think it might have been Webster that got it to Edwards. And rusted over the line and out of bounds. Brett Ratton has won 50% of games coached, 79 of 158. And speaking of 50, he turns 50 in just a couple of weeks' time.
Tigers fans getting up and about. They can just sniff something here. Crouch. McKenzie. Floston. Thought he was taken out of it illegally. King arched the back. Battle. Well done, Floston. Working their way back into this game, the Tigers.
You get the feeling Floston just started to pick up the tempo. Sets up that last goal. Desperation smother. That's what we expect from him.
Certainly the crowd at the MCG is sensing something. Marshall. Late fist was a good one. Hooley to go and find it. Soccer off the ground. Broad. Good pick up. Lateral ball. Arts. Too nimble. Graham, it got through his hands. Prestia has it held in. Ball up.
So Dion Prestia back. Had a 1-week absence. A little tight. Missed a week. Precaution more than anything. Castagna trying to duck under the tackle. Dunstan again. Got the ball out by Boot. Overrun by Hooley. Butler allows it to be picked up, and Ross goes inside on his wrong boot. Bolter couldn't hold the mark. Throw it in deep in attack here for the Saints.
Helen. King.
1 goal apiece here in a really tight third quarter. 9.5 minutes remaining in this third quarter. Floston's had plenty. 19 touches. Dunstan the leader for the Saints at 24. Prestia caught in a tackle here by Long. They're able to strip it out of his hands. Now Long has that done to him as well. Grimes through, but Butler and Crouch both make sure he goes nowhere.
Max, tell him. Stand up, please.
Guys, Nick Caulfield has spent some time downstairs in the rooms. He's spending some time with the doctors looking at vision now, and Leo Connolly, the debutant and sub, looking a bit restless, might be coming into the game.
Ball out of there, but straight into Ryder. Off the ground goes Bashahuli. Dougal Howard. Wilkie. Membry. Too far out, your sense. Unless he can really make some connection. High ball. Wood at the back's got about 4 to beat. Pickett couldn't hang on. Off the ground long. Brilliant. Benny Long. They've got the answers, the Saints. Concern on the face of the triple premiership coach in the Richmond box, and that's Nick Caulfield, and that's not a good sign.
Well, the Saints really well set up behind the footy to be able to get that ball as a repeat inside 50. Wood gives the contest, and well, that's where you want to be. Talk about it. Look at that vision there. There was only one person lining up front and square. Grimes in late, but Long the only one in the right spot. That's why he got the goal.
Nick Caulfield there looks like a hamstring for him, and Leo Connolly on for his debut. He got a high five and a little squeeze on the shoulders, not your average jumper presentation.
The interesting thing for me on Caulfield is he was supposed to be the sub before the game, and perhaps trying to get a rest in him. I can't imagine he would have been dropped. And all of a sudden he plays and then does the hamstring.
Against St.Kilda.
As a result of, I don't know, the overwork, given the fact they wanted to manage him.
Tim.
Grimes here with the free. In the meantime, Tigers now really pressed. There's the sub and first game of Connolly onto the ground. Grimes now from centre wing. High ball, Highmore was there, couldn't grab it. Butler. Arch was in there as well. Little knockout by Cochin. He was confronted by an aggressive Long. He's been that way all night long. And he's done extremely well here.
Okay, go through. Easy.
With a good tackle to dispossess the skipper.
Hill. Straight to Bolter. Couldn't hang on. Butler did a nice job. High ball forward here for Membry. Mark, free kick. Doesn't matter.
Did the right thing there, Membry, when the ball was in the air, just step forward. Have a look at Cochin's frustration there. But this ball here, you can draw a free kick very easy when the defender's running back. You just have to step forward, make sure there's contact, and the umpire will pay it, even though he marked it anyway.
Just to stretch the lead out to 34 points.
Straight away, Tim.
Who'd have thought? Dad on Wednesday. Membry. Oh, that hurts. That would have really stretched the Tigers.
His 122nd game, Tim Membry, the same as Dave McNamara. And you may well ask, who's Dave McNamara? As Duck looks at me with goggle eyes. He was renowned for the longest place kick ever in football, Duck. And he's in the AFL Hall of Fame, former Saints. Back before your time, about 100 years ago. Sinclair. Thought we'd drop that in.
Move on. Play on.
Sinclair, I know, Hodgie, you're looking at me strangely as well. Of little relevance. Got to fit somewhere. High ball. Sinclair goes. Saints everywhere at the moment. Long with a real good handball. Butler tried to show the football. Kept the ball free. Little soccer off the ground by Kraft. Long. The fake handball. The right foot snap missed. Gee, I reckon if the Saints get the next one, a really steep incline for the Tigers to get back in business.
Bashahuli, and this has been the story of the night. They just have not been able to get any sizzle into their ball movement at all, the Tigers. Oh, Sinclair!
Pushing the back, unrealistic.
Jeez, he got some height.
Stand, thanks, Jack. Stand.
Unrealistic attempt, but
Broad coming off, looking proppy as well, guys.
Nice high leap. Chol able to hang on, but Tigers ground level in number. Is that taking the legs? Yes, it was.
And that's the one that it was brought in more for. The one where you slide in just a little bit. You saw Cochin there do that. Don't mind that, but when they're both going for the footy and they just fall over, Hodgie, I think that rule has been, but that certainly was correct.
Stand.
But it's hard for Cochin because that's his desperation. He wants to go in hard to get that ball, but for safety, it's a smart rule.
Crouch. Down the line, Ryder and Chol go at it. Chol did him in the body work out. Now at the ground level as well, and the runaway, even though Steele was chasing, got the handball to Rewalt. Little left foot kick, snapped it around the body here. High ball, Arts. The knock away, Lambert keeps it alive, but there are St Kilda jumpers everywhere, although the boundary line will beat Crouch. And Richmond players appealing for deliberate. And as I mentioned, Broad hobbling off the ground. Goes downstairs with Dr. Greg Hickey. What do you think, Days? Was it ankle, leg? Where was it?
Left leg. We'll have a look at it here. Looks like in this marking contest. Oh, just landed on awkwardly there by King. So could be knee, could be ankle.
Players hovering over the footy. Umpire looks.
Jack, Paddy.
And Richmond have dominated the uncontested possessions, but where it's been impressive is St Kilda. In and under, they're winning the contested possessions. Get the ball going forward.
Chol right behind the ball and took that nicely. Sticks it to Rewalt. Didn't quite get it to him. Highmore. It's not a great ball. Doesn't quite reach the diving Tiger. Butler, good tackle from Pickett. That's going to be holding the ball.
Yeah, definitely took him on, didn't he?
Give it to him now, Jack. Thank you. Stand there.
Pickett, good tackle.
You can see Paddy Ryder sitting back. He's going to have to pull the kick or he's sitting it up to him.
Pickett high ball on the head of Rewalt. That won't help him. He needed a jump, and as you predicted, Hodgie, there he is. And a quick outlet pass here as well. Can they get it and go for Membry? Short little ball here to Crouch. Floston quickly closing him down on the mark.
Real sense of urgency needed now for the Tigers. Saints got control in this game as we speak. Crouch, beautiful ball. Dunstan. Here's the young first gamer, Connolly. Has a bounce, takes him on. Thumps the handball inside 50, misses the target. That's a very, very wide bouncing ball off the boot of Baker.
Insufficient intent.
And that's going to be brought back in.
So we've seen two balls going inside 50 that have been delivered out of bounds, and because that one's off half back on the wing, they paid that one. I'd like to see the one going forward as well, Hodgie, if they're going to be consistent with it.
Leo Connolly.
The assumption, I think, though, Duck, is that everyone's trying to keep the ball in going forward.
But they're not.
More to the back, and here's Hooley. Get and go. Real scrubby ball into the middle. Martin's got to make it work to Lambert. Lambert missed the target by hand. Mason Wood's got to go and find it. Couldn't control the footy. Lots of Saints around this. Hill, one of them. Big, big ball to win, centre of the G. Ball up.
Ryan.
I think the field of play actually narrows as you go inside 50 in terms of the deliberate free.
But BT, with that, coaches are happy if that ball goes out of bounds inside forward 50 because they get to set up behind the ball. So Ducky's right.
True. Saints playing really strong, aggressive and committed football here at the moment, and they're serving it up to the reigning premiers, and it's a crucial time for the Tigers at 7 and 6th in 8th position. Want to stay in touch with an opportunity top 4, and at the same time
St Kilda will sit Membry right at the back. They push the forward behind the footy. They want to shut the game down for the rest of this quarter.
Handball out, McIntosh may have got McKenzie high.
He does that most weeks, Hodgie, doesn't he? And he does it pretty well. He's a good player to do it, reads it well when he gets back there.
That was an issue against Adelaide 2 weeks ago. He wasn't playing. With 2 minutes to go, there was no one sitting back. Cost him the game.
Right arm come over the top there. So
Just
as he was ducking down. Wow, this is a massive kick. This could be a 36-point lead with just a couple of minutes before three-quarter time, and that's a tough ask of any side in one quarter. So McKenzie, we're right behind him. That's online. Has it got the journey? Yes! He's kicked the leather off it. Wow! 36, he's got a couple. And the Saints fans not quite celebrating, but feeling they're in a great position.
Well, it's a pretty big finish, isn't it, from McKenzie? Only his second goal for the year, but certainly that's a big one and an important one. I agree, BT. That's a good distance, only just snuck it in.
Switch needs to be flicked now for the Tigers. They're in real strife in this game. Approaching three-quarter time, they've kicked just 2 goals. Ryder, another centre clearance, Saints. Floston's worried out of his hands. Mason Wood run down. King went and found it. Floston picked his pocket. Prestia, little one for Lambert. Just got to go now, the Tigers. Wide, they found it for Martin. Sinclair with him. One-on-one win for Dusty, and then McIntosh. Inside 50 ball. Highmore just could not pick it up. Steele handballed it out of there, only as far as McIntosh. Now Martin again. End on end. Bounces about 30 from home. Highmore, Chol unable to apply the tackle. Crouch tumbles it to centre half forward.
Bolter's going to get there. A second go, a third go for Bolter. In that time, St Kilda players had arrived en masse. Long was there, Baker. Richmond player down behind play. At the moment, that is Bolter. Looks like he's clutching the knee. Looks like the left knee, and this does not look good for the Tigers. So this may well be a bad situation for the Tigers on the scoreboard, but more importantly now the injury board as well for Noah Bolter. Oh, goodness me. And that is the left leg. And not looking good. Just while we have a chance with this injury here to Bolter. Do Richmond trust and keep going at their style, or is there something that needs to change in this last quarter? What do you think, Hodgie?
Well, with Bolter going off, I'd be putting a smaller person down half back and just trying to create, get a bit of run. You'll be a little bit undermanned, but that can be an asset as far as running and just taking the game on from the half-back line, as Bradley Hill did at St Kilda at half-back.
And Duck, we don't wish it upon him, but if this is a diagnosed bad injury, what does that mean for Richmond's year?
Oh, no, I don't think. We saw Rance years ago, BT, miss, and they still went on. He's a very important player. He's become very good, but I like the fact that he's been able to walk off. That's a good sign, isn't it? Let's hope it's not too serious.
Well, he was the one that actually replaced Rance, wasn't he?
Yep.
Probably in the end of that defensive post, so...
I think they both dragged that in.
We were focused on the injury then.
There's a sub, Ryan Mansell there.
We were focused on the injury, but that chase down from Long and Battle to get that, keep that ball in that forward 50 was excellent. That's the pressure that St Kilda have had all night.
That's the body heat that the skipper puts on too, Jack Steele.
Paddy.
Well, what Richmond have to do now, we know the way they like to play, but they've just got to take more risks now. And simple as that. They're not going to win by not doing that.
Boot in there, and then Dunstan inside 50. Grimes off the deck. Kept in cleverly by Pickett. Forward comes Highmore, and there's your siren. Lowest three-quarter time score under Damien Hardwick for the Tigers. They are 36 points adrift from the Saints at the MCG.
terrible quarter on the injury front for Richmond, as well as not being able to penetrate the margin. I mean, Chol first with the hand and finger. He got back out there, so good news for him. Looks like it was a dislocated finger. Broad, he had his left ankle strapped and looks like he's taking his place out on the field now. But Bolter, the big one, going down with the knee injury, straight down to the rooms, and we haven't seen him since. I'll try and keep you updated. But you keep asking, and you guys were asking the question in that quarter, where's their spark going to come from? And so often it's come from that surge running. They run over the top of sides, but tonight they've just looked a little bit slow and a bit they haven't covered the ground as well as St Kilda, and I just keep asking myself, are they too tall? I was very surprised when they brought Samson Ryan in. It kind of changes the profile of this side, who we've been used to seeing as a small pressure side. So you just wonder, are they a bit too tall, and is that affecting their ball movement and the game style we're used to seeing?
37 points is their greatest ever comeback, 1937, three-quarter time.
Steal, St Kilda.
They're at 36 here right now.
6 goals just to draw level.
Time back on. Stand.
Steele, long and direct. Defensive fist, Grimes. Cochin. Just wobbles it out of there to Martin. High left foot ball, centre of the ground.
High contact, St Kilda.
Free kick's going to go the Saints' way. To Burns. Ryan Burns. Looks to Webster. It's broken out of his hands. Highmore. Webster. Sinclair. Inside 50 he goes. And a good mark taken by Grimes.
Just on that kick from Burns, once you get the free kick in the corridor, then you come back out to the wing. Not sure why teams do that. Once you're there, you should be going straight into your forward line. Give your forwards an opportunity.
I really want to know, McIntosh here. Let's wait until we get a moment to ask you the question, but Baker to McIntosh, whether anything changes for the Tigers. Here's McIntosh surging through the middle of the ground at the corner of the eye. Saw Rewalt. Rewalt hasn't kicked one tonight for goal 699. Tries to find Chol. He's done that a couple of times tonight where he could have gone himself. I know it's selfless play.
It was the right kick. He just didn't execute it well enough. I mean, in the end, it was just a basic error, which we've seen from them all night.
But do the Tigers change in any way to try and trim this margin back and win?
That's the thing, is they've been able to switch the ball, get on the open side, but as Duck said throughout the night, it's just been their skill errors that's cost them.
Ryder, McKenzie, Dunstan's left foot bender's going to go out of play.
Yes. So you look at that last play then. You got McIntosh streaming through the middle and hits Rewalt. It's a perfect play, and that's exactly what they did, and that's what they've done a number of times.
But I'm asking you to look forward, Hodgie. We know that's the past. What is in the future that can get them back into this game?
That's what I mean. Continue to do that. Continue to run, take the game on, but hit your kicks. Okay. They're not trying to miss them, but if that Rewalt had hit Chol, they kick that goal, that gives them a little bit of a spark. It's just been their skill errors that's let them down, just like that handball. And it's I know we're seen to be going on about it, but this is stuff that we have not seen from Richmond, and I think it's due to slippery conditions, but it's also St Kilda's pressure's been outstanding.
This is the Tigers' home ground, and it's been a fortress for them in recent years, and we're into the final term, and they've kicked just 2 goals. It's quite extraordinary. How's the umpire going to see that?
Throw in.
Throw in.
I'll take it. I'll take it.
You got it? Cheers, mate.
Callum.
See how they set up here. Marshall beats Coleman Jones to the footy. Floston will get the free.
Contact. Richmond.
High contact.
He's down picking the football up, still needs to be protected. Yeah, go through.
There's the explanation. Clear and concise from Craig Fleer.
Yep.
Around the corner here, short with a high ball, and Ryder shouldn't be able to mark like that when Chol's within reach. Steele now, so inching the footy forward once again. Steele goes for the long ball into King, pushed out of the way there by Grimes. King got the little ground level ball, picked up here by Edwards. Some good work, footwork style from him to Castagna, and he bangs the ball to the wing.
Just away from Webster. Foot race. Martin. off the ground. Webster goes and finds it. Taken in a tackle. No free. Steele able to just drop it over the top to Dan Butler.
Stand. 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 Play on.
Butler long. Lots of Tigers here. Pickett in the end. Simple.
Stand.
Can they slingshot and go?
Just clear out, Dylan. Stop. 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 Go back, please. Just need you to clear the mark, Dylan. Thank you. Time back on. Stay on.
Grimes was the issue. Pickett. Long to half forward. Martin. Cochin. Coleman Jones. Floats one to half forward. McKenzie in the air. Highmore on the ground. Dunstan. They've got players out here if this sits. Membry, can he keep it in? He can. Lots of players ahead. He goes to Crouch. Well done, Broad, to close that down.
Knock on here. Richmond battling on, but St Kilda have been equal to the task in most facets here tonight. Touched off boot. Floston trying to get something to happen here. Little handball in. Lambert just gets bowled out of the way here by Howard. McKenzie finds Burns. Ryder helped it on the way out the back door to Sinclair. Clever little handball along the deck, and Ryder half hoping that handball went over the line and out of bounds. And when you look at the Tigers, they were 2-0 to start the year, and Damien Hardwick 5-11 since that 2-0 start. Hasn't been great form. I just wonder what we're seeing here right now.
Yeah. 5 of 11, I think, Bristol.
Yeah, 5 of 11.
Yep, you're right. It's been a bit spluttery. Long ball here. No one home. Battle. Able to pick it off. Highmore. Uncontested footy everywhere now for St Kilda. That's going to be 50 against Dustin Martin. Word that comes to mind, Duck is sloppy. Yeah. And you don't use that word to describe this Richmond team. It's so rare to see the unforced errors. Wilkie. Hill. Lopes away. King's got to stand under it and takes it. Not paid. It comes to Membry, and he has missed.
I think as much as we're talking about Richmond, you look at the Saints and say, well, where's this been all year? And I know they got a few players back, still got a few more to come back in, but you know, for them to perform like this tonight, albeit Richmond have been nowhere near their best, but they certainly haven't made it easy for them, have they?
Sure, they have not. Ball up here.
They shouldn't have so much reliance. And here's King with that grab that he thought he'd come down with it. It was close enough, 3 or 4 bites, but then just that knock away from Pickett.
There it is, guys.
But Marshall just makes him a different team. Their midfielders have so much more confidence when they're rucking to both Marshall and Ryder. Ryder's too old to be rucking a full game by himself.
High contact. Go through.
High contact on the Tigers.
Let him up, please.
Nick Lawson on the bench with heavy strapping on his quad. It looks like he's going to keep participating in the game, but looks pretty sore.
Play on.
Short. Loves to kick the footy because he does it well. Coleman Jones there bringing it to the ground, running into the brick wall. On that occasion was Arts. Baker connecting with Prestia. Prestia waited for something to develop, and it did. Baker's kick just behind Rewalt. Had to turn, slipped over. Wilkie will get the free here. Graham, no. It's going to go the other way.
Clear out,
below
please.
the knees, was it?
Clear out.
For Graham.
Dan Butler. Dan Butler. Clear out.
Fair enough.
That's the one, BT, where the player's already at the footy and the player falls over him. It's the one I don't like.
Big kick here, despite that, from 50 metres. Graham hasn't quite got the accuracy and just got the distance. 36-point margin here.
Hill lopes away. Membry and out of play.
Sampson, Rowan.
It's been a tough night on the injury front for the Tigers. That's one thing in this glorious run they've had over the last 4 years they've been able to avoid for such a long part of it. They've been so healthy.
Play on, play on.
Marshall did that well. Dunstan just lands inside the field of play, and it'll be thrown in.
Rowan. Sampson. On the meter.
Tough for Sanson Ryan up against one of the really big-bodied ruckmen in the comp. In Marshall, who takes clean possession to Burns. Flicked it to Mason Wood. Graham worried out of it by Webster, and then the ball was dragged back in, and we'll have a ball.
No tackle.
That clearance from Marshall, that's 38 to 21 in favour of St Kilda. Dominated that area.
189 times these two sides have met each other, only twice. Previously, Richmond scored less than 30 points in those 189 games. Higgins to Wood, wrong-footed on his right. King trying to push it forward. We'll keep it alive here. Danger. Butler, left foot high ball won't go through. Plenty of Richmond players there on the fly. Grimes went, battle, keeping it alive, so they're keeping the Tigers under pressure here. Now the little handball over the head. Prestia, just a little fumble with a bubble handball there. Comes to Wood. Who can he find in the corridor here? Ross takes the mark. This for a commanding 42-point lead. And the Tigers ain't coming back from there.
Excellent second effort there from King. He tapped the first one and knocked it back. Just kept that ball alive. And Wood here, nice composure. Could have been honored. Kicked it to the top.
Saints' pressure was good, but another little fumble from Prestia.
Yep, taken 11.5 minutes in this quarter to kick the first goal, and that is the first goal of the quarter to Ross, and St Kilda fans rise.
Good moment for Seb Ross with everything he's had to put up with in the last little while. Astounding, all of that, but he's hit the scoreboard, and the Saints are doing a number on the reigning premier.
Oh, really nice finish there from Seb Ross, and you can see there what it means to this team. They're not going to play finals this year, JB, but this is a massive win for them. Second, third efforts, pressure, and there's Dunstan's Telstra tracker. We did him earlier in the game, and he's just gone on with it, and that's what you want when you get off to a good start. 31 disposals.
His last 3 weeks, Ducks, 26, 25, 26, and now what did you have tonight? 31.
Yep. 31 so far. Can add to that too, BT, as inside 50 goes Bolton. Howard. Brought to the club to do exactly that. Crouch. Mason Wood to Sinclair by hand. Steps around Graham. Membry's got to stand under this. Floston there as well. Tim Membry did nicely.
Wants to reel and go, and he does with a long ball on the head of King. Does he get the free? And it falls short to Grimes.
Stay out.
Well, he had the mismatch, King, because I think it was McIntosh that had pushed back on him, and he did panic a little bit, but umpire didn't think so.
Here is McIntosh, game 121. The same number as Mick Malthouse played for the Tigers in the 80s. Arts. Little handball here to Martin, on to Cochin. Cochin straight down the middle, a little bit of open space here. Howard just able to manoeuvre himself there, and no real challenge for him. And A neat and easy ball finds Hill on the half-back line.
Sinclair. Hill will run on. Evades the tackler, goes back by hand to Sinclair. Uncontested. Marking options everywhere for the Saints. Battle. Misses the target. Turnover here. Revolt. He misses the target. Coleman Jones was open. There's the first game of Connolly, and he might have dragged it free.
St.Kilda go through.
Gippsland boy from Moe.
Yep.
Everyone stop.
Gives Baker a bit of a shove.
That's it.
That's the Moe boy.
That's it. That's nice for him.
What do you think he's pondering at the moment, Damien Hardwick? Guys, what would be going through his mind right now? Is it the game here right now, or is it the future?
I don't think it's a game right now. I'd say it'd be pondering what's going on with his team, because his team normally bounces back. If St Kilda hit him early, as they did, normally Richmond would either change a few things, or their game style or their players are good enough to bring him back into the game and score goals. Just what we've seen tonight through skill or just not being able to handle the pressure of St Kilda, that's probably going to be the concerning thing for him.
Just about in all the facets that have made them such a great team over the last 4 years, they've been lacking tonight. So whether it's one of those you just don't even look at.
So do you think that's temporary or permanent?
Oh, no, I certainly don't think it's permanent.
Okay.
First time, this is as bad as I've seen them play for a very long time.
42 down here.
And that's taking nothing away from St Kilda.
No, because
they have been superb.
They have been switched on mentally. Skill-wise, they've been switched on. Tactically, they've been switched on.
But it's also other little things that are starting to slip in. Like 2 weeks ago when they played West Coast, being up by so much, there's no way Richmond team would lose that game, because they've got enough senior players and they just shut the game down. There's a few things of that would slip in that would start to concern Dimmer.
Beware of teams that have been smashed in the media as well, like St Kilda have. Come out tonight. There's Dusty Martin, his birthday. Turns 30 tomorrow, Dusty. Won't be a real happy one. Opportunity here for Sinclair. He's the sort of guy, I guess, that moves on quickly. 30 tomorrow, Duck.
Been a great player, isn't he?
He has indeed. He's been very impressive in his 20s, let's put it that way. And we expect that'll go on in the 30s. Webster down the line here, and that is out of bounds on the full.
Rowan, back here.
Richmond's lower score under Damien Hardwick, 23 points. We're currently at 20.
Chol got around and then just kicked the check side, as they call it in Adelaide. High ball.
We're in Melbourne though, JB.
Down the line. Lots of fans watching the game over there, BT. They might get a look here, the Tigers. Coleman Jones comes back at the footy.
It's amazing that just something different results in a shot on goal. Teams scout how they're going to kick long down the line, and then all of a sudden Child does something different, just a big banana into the corridor where none of the St Kilda defenders were ready for it. The ball comes to ground and the luck play turns out to be a shot on goal.
So with 7 minutes left in the game, Coleman Jones to kick the Tigers' third. It's almost weird uttering the sentence. Here he goes. Is it going to hang on? No.
Well, the fans, they're rugged up. It's a coldish night in Melbourne. And particularly if you're Tiger fans, there's not a lot to cheer about tonight anyway. Sinclair goes very wide to Marshall. They will welcome his presence back in the side. He and Ryder, when they both play, we know how effective the Saints become. Wilkie. Little highish there, spin a little long in the air. McIntosh able to knock it down to short. Handball over the top. Castagna was always going to be under the Ross pump there from that handball. Picked up here by the first gamer in Connolly, and he goes wide and finds Mason Wood.
Great credit this to the Saints. They coughed up a big lead against Adelaide and then have had the horrors in the last couple of weeks off field, but they've come together tonight against the Tigers at the MCG, and are 41-point leaders.
Certainly the best game Mason Wood has played since he's been at this club, and the best game for a long time, in actual fact.
It's only his second game at the MCG, actually, tonight.
Picked 3 a couple of weeks ago in that game we're talking about. He's
just had a bit of the ball, JB, and just done a couple of good things.
Always been capable of that. Here's Connolly. Medical sub on because Caulfield looks like he might have just tweaked a hamstring.
Just on Wood, 86% efficiency by foot tonight. You know he's been a great kick. Here's the first game of Connolly. Speaking of nice kicking, that was beautifully executed down the throat of Tim Membry. Membry long and wide here opportunity for Higgins against his old team. Gee, he and Butler will enjoy this. Crouch had the ball smothered. And Brett Ratton, they will go 6 and 8 with time to come. What is it, 9 weeks, I think, to come still, JB?
Can they mount something late in the season? Chol down. Prestia taken in the hill tackle. Battle comes forward to defend, but he's gone. Advantage paid. Here's Bolton. Hoisted high. Sinclair racing back to trap the footy. Oh, he did that brilliantly well. Great stuff, Sinclair. Dan Butler. Long. Slapped forward by Dunstan. Cochin wiggled his way out of it. Pickett back to Cochin. Lambert.
Push downfield.
And a downfield free.
So Richmond free here. Castagna.
Stay out. Play on.
Short to Coleman Jones. Overlap running here from Dusty Martin. Inside looking for Riewoldt, and he's got it. So chance to kick his 699th here. Jack Riewoldt.
JB, you mentioned before about St Kilda dropping the game to Adelaide. With this win, if they had won last week, they would have been equal in 8th position. How costly is that loss going to be at the end of the year?
Might even get a look at the ladder if we can shortly. Riewolt's 297th game. He joins Wayne Campbell on that number. Only Bartlett, Dyer and Burke in front of him have played 300+ games, and he's kicked it to the right-hand side.
Talk about what's going through Damien Hardwick's mind.
You can move, yeah.
Duck. How benign they've been, ball in hand, centre circles forward. This is zero danger. And this has been a team that's hit the scoreboard as hard as anyone.
That's a bit of fly at the wall to see how they go over this game, wouldn't you?
They get Lynch back. He's 1 or 2 away, as we understand. Dan Curvis not far away there, and he's very important. Seen that tonight with Ryder and Marshall. Ball high and wide. There's Mason Wood. Ross back to Mason Wood. Bouncing ball down the outer side. Broad can't keep it in.
I reckon tonight there's been that easy exit out of their defence, St Kilda tonight. There hasn't been that up-in-your-face sort of approach that Richmond are renowned for. And there's the ladder. That's how vulnerable the Tigers are. Have a look at that, Hodgie.
Exactly right, and that's what we're sort of saying with St Kilda losing that game last week. That'd be equal with Richmond on 8th, and it kind of makes it a bit interesting. GWS half a game behind it also.
They don't score again, the Tigers, tonight. I'm told it'll be their 6th lowest score in history. Here is Short.
We haven't seen that up-in-your-face pressure, and we've also seen a lot more of this slow, more lateral ball movement, which is not like the Tigers.
Just looking at that ladder, Hodgie, how big are the games now for GWS and Essendon? They can jump into the 8. Short to Connolly.
Play on. Yours kick.
And I know they've got injuries, the Tigers, but they also did drop Daniel Rioli, who has been a pretty good pressure forward for them. So it's just interesting, the change in the profile of this team given, yes, they've got injuries, but there are people there tried and trusted that they've used in the past to play their way, and we've seen a different Richmond tonight.
Howard.
If you look at Rewalt, who's also used to playing with Lynch, then you throw in the Samson Ryan and Coleman Jones, just a few different people that he's got to mix around and understand their game as well. So that all adds up after the pressure that St Kilda does bring.
Seconds ticking down.
It's a major shift from who they used to be. It used to be Rewalt and the small forwards, and then Nankervis with Grigg as the second ruck. And I know there's been a lot of time since then, but it's definitely a change in philosophy.
Again, lots of Saints hunting around this footy, and we've got a ball up. So inside the last minute or just about.
Doug, I just want to ask you a question. Will the Tigers win the premiership from here?
Are they capable of winning the premiership?
Will they win the premiership from here? Duck.
I think
this is a word-perfect question.
I'm not prepared to answer that right now, BT. They might even make the 8.
I'll let you off the hook. Do you think they can win the premiership?
If they make the 8, they can win the premiership.
Okay. I'll use as many words next time.
Do you think if they make the 8, they can win the premiership?
I'm calling the game, Duck. You're these specials.
Stand, play on.
There's Howard. I'm like you. I think if they make the 8, they can go well. Of course they can win it.
BT, they're staring down the barrel at their lowest score at this ground, Richmond, since the 1927 grand final.
Their 6th lowest score ever.
They also got flogged by St Kilda in 2017 at Marvel and went on to win the premiership that year.
Wilkie and Duck really digging deep into the bag now, and Howard, we like it, Duck. The Saints fans, stand up. Your team has played a fantastic game tonight, and they have beaten one of the best teams in the comp, and certainly the best team over the last 3 or 4 years by 40 points. When the Saints go marching in, oh how I want to be with St Kilda. When the Saints go marching in. Enjoy that, fans. 14,787 here tonight, and I come into this ground tonight thinking, well, 50 other different things could have happened tonight, but I didn't think what we have seen would be one of those 50. Amazing stuff. Daisy is downstairs and about to grab her first interview down there. Take it away, Daisy.
Luke, congratulations on the win. You must be really happy with the response after a disappointing couple of weeks.
Yeah, absolutely. It was obviously a pretty frustrating couple of weeks. Yeah, we felt we played some good footy in patches and then obviously some really, really poor footy for the second half. So, yeah, it was pleasing tonight that we were able to put 4 quarters together and, yeah, sort of sew the game up, which was good.
So what happened during the bye? Because before it, you got knocked off by the reigning Wooden Spooners and you've just beaten the reigning Premiers. What changed? What did you do in the time?
Not too much. I mean, we've obviously had some pretty honest conversations, as they sort of tend to happen when you're playing the footy that we were dishing up. So we sort of just made a commitment to each other that we're going to come out for this sort of back half of the year and commit to 2 things, and we did those pretty well tonight, I think.
What's your skipper like in those moments? We're going to talk to him in a minute. We know what his footy's like. He's reliable, he's tough, he's skillful. How did he hold up over the last couple of weeks?
Yeah, he's been pretty good. I'm obviously pretty close friends with him, but I think he's going right. It's obviously not the way the year's wanted to pan out so far, but yeah, we want to try and turn that around for him.
But what I meant is, what type of a captain is he in those moments?
Oh, he's obviously lead by example. He's a pretty quiet sort of bloke if you get to know him. Very humble and sort of within himself, but yeah, he just wants to lead by example, and he did that pretty well tonight. And
after tonight, I'm sure it does a lot for your belief. Are you still talking finals?
We've sort of put that away for now. It's more just sort of getting back to playing the footy that we want to play, and if we can do that, we'll give ourselves the best chance.
Well done on your own game as well.
Thank you. Thanks, Dave.
Take care.
Very, very good tonight, that man. 32 possessions, 11 clearances. Tonight is Richmond's lowest score under Damien Hardwick.
Wow.
It's just staggering to watch. how difficult they found it to get the ball into scoring positions.
And when I think about it, the ease in which St Kilda took the ball out of their defence, JB, and the lack of that renowned Richmond pressure.
And that might be the height they decided to come into this game with. A couple of former Tigers there, enjoying a win over their old club. They don't come around too often in the modern era.
Got a smile on the dial, both of those guys, haven't they?
Yeah, and that's the big question for me. Where has this been? And yes, they have had a big injury list. We know that. Yes, they got some players back, BT. But where's this effort?
So if you're Brett Ratton, are you going to go into the rooms and are you going to ask that question?
Well, what Brett Ratton will say is, where has this been? Our best is good enough, but the big thing with them this year is their best is very good, their worst is pretty bad.
Daisy, down to you.
Jack, tough couple of weeks for your footy club. You must be pretty proud of that.
Yeah, definitely. We were under the pump quite a lot over the last couple of weeks, and yeah, it's definitely nice to be able to come out and beat the Tigers on the MCG on Friday night. So yeah, glad the boys responded.
You kept them to 2 goals. We kept thinking they'll come, the Tigers, they'll come, and I'm sure you were saying a similar thing. What worked? What did you do so well that didn't allow them, do you think?
We were just really connected. Probably something we haven't done all year is played out 4 quarters. So each quarter we sort of broke it down and took it quarter by quarter, and yeah, we were able to keep them to a low score, which is pleasing, but we were able to kick a nice score ourselves, so that's great too.
Did you do some work on your closeout? I know this wasn't a close game, but after what happened against Adelaide, it felt like late in quarters tonight you were a lot better at just managing the clock.
Yeah, it was definitely a focus when we were going in at half-time, well and truly up, to not allow them to come back in the game, and that sort of came around the ball. Obviously, they play a really surged brand of footy, so we sort of had to nullify that, which we did, and we got on top ourselves.
I'll let you go because your team want you, and it sounds like your fans want you. Go and enjoy the song.
Thanks, man.
Oh, what about that for St Kilda fans? 40-point belting of the reigning Premier Richmond at the MCG. This is all thanks to the mighty Ford Ranger. Nick Revolt's smiling. Everyone's smiling in the world unless you're a Tiger supporter right now, and all sorts of records have been rewritten tonight. That scoreline is extraordinary when you look at that. We spoke about pre-game, what would need to happen. We'll go through a whole host of those issues here. But the bottom line is this St Kilda team, who have been under all sorts of pressure for good reason, have come out and kept Richmond to a score that we have not seen in our lifetime, men. In our lifetime.
Yeah, it was un-Richmond-like, absolutely. Apart from the first 10 minutes when they looked in touch, they just couldn't hit the scoreboard. But worrying signs, Gaz. I don't know what's worse, the loss against Brisbane, Melbourne and Geelong, which top 4 contenders, or tonight's loss?
Oh, it has to be tonight. I mean...
Well, what's that lifetime stat? What's the stat?
Well, where do you want to start? 5th lowest ever, the lowest score since 1961. 2010 was the last time they won a game on Friday night, and it's their lowest score ever under Damien Hardwick.
Yeah. They're
what do you think? Oh, serious. We're about to hear the song, and then we'll go through a whole lot of stuff. What do you think of right now when you've seen that?
Where's this been?
Where has it been?
Where's it been, Gaz?
And so do you get excited about this now, or do you go, OK?
No, what's happen's happened. So I get excited about what's possible for the group if, and the big if, is can you deliver this consistently now? Because if you wanted any proof that you're good, your best was good enough, well then look no further.
Well, it is great. Look, it's great for Brett Ratton. They've been under a lot of pressure, and there's absolutely justification for that. And they needed some, we talk about nourishment in this game. They needed that. And you go to the MCG and you play Richmond, you think, gee, we hope we might get it tonight. We might have to make a wait a week. Let's have a listen.